As Pete and I traveled to Washington for President Obama's inaugural celebration, he told me the entire story of We Shall Overcome, how it moved from a labor movement song and with Pete's inspiration had been adopted by the civil rights movement. And that day as we sang This Land Is Your Land, I looked at Pete. The first black president of the United States was seated to his right. I thought of the incredible journey that Pete had taken. You know, my own growing up in the 60s, town scarred by race rioting, made that moment nearly unbelievable. And Pete had 30 extra years of struggle and real activism on his belt. He was so happy that day. It was like, Pete, you outlasted the bastards, man. You just outlasted them. It was so nice. At rehearsals the day before, it was freezing. It was like 15 degrees. And Pete was there. He had his flannel shirt on. I said, man, you better wear something besides that flannel shirt. He said, yeah, I got my long johns on under this thing. And I asked him, I said, how do you want to approach this land as your land? And all he said was, well, I know I want to sing all the verses. You know, I want to sing all the ones that Woody wrote, especially the two that get left out, you know, about private property in the relief office. And I thought, of course, you know, that's what Pete's done his whole life. He sings all the verses all the time, especially the ones that we'd like to leave out of our history as a people. You know? And at some point, Pete Seeger decided he'd be a walking, singing reminder of all of America's history. He'd be a living archive of America's music and conscience, a testament of the power of song to nudge history along, to push American events towards more humane and justified ends. He would have the audacity and the courage to sing in the voice of the people. Now, despite Pete's somewhat benign grandfatherly appearance, you know, he is a creature of a stubborn, defiant, and nasty optimism. You know, he carries, inside him, he carries a steely toughness that belies that grandfatherly facade, and it won't let him take a step back from the things he believes in. At 90, he remains a stealth dagger through the heart of our country's illusions about itself. Pete Seeger still sings all the verses all the time. And he reminds us of our immense failures as well as shining a light towards our better angels and the horizon where the country we've imagined and hold dear, we hope, awaits us. And on top of it, he never wears it on his sleeve. He's become comfortable and casual in this immense role. The song that Tommy Morello and I are about to sing, I wrote it in the mid-90s, and it started as a conversation I was having with myself. It was an attempt to regain my own moorings. And its last verse is the beautiful speech that Tom Joad whispers to his mother at the end of The Grapes of Wrath, which says, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, wherever there's a fight against the blood and the hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there. Well, Pete has always been there. So, for me, that speech is always aspirational. For Pete, it's simply been a way of life. The singer in my song is in search of the ghost of Tom Joad, the spirit who has the guts and the toughness to fight for and live their ideals. Well, I'm happy to report that that spirit, the very ghost of Tom Joad, is with us in the flesh tonight. He'll be on the stage momentarily. He's going to look an awful lot like your granddad who wears flannel shirts and funny hats. He's going to look like your granddad if your granddad could kick your ass. So this is for Pete. Come on out, Tommy. Men walking along the railroad tracks, going someplace there's no going back. Highway patrol choppers coming up over the ridge. Hot soup on a campfire under the bridge. Shelter line stretching around the corner. Welcome to the new world order. Families sleeping in their cars in the Southwest. No home, no job, no peace, no rest. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, searching for the ghost of Tom Joad.
He pulls a prayer book out of his sleeping bag. Preacher lights up a butt and takes a drag, waiting for when the last shall be first and the first shall be last. In a cardboard box neath the underpass, they got a one-way ticket to the promised land. They got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand. Sleeping on a pillow of solid rock, made in the city's aqueduct. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Joad.
Tom said, Mom, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, where there's a fight against the blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there.
Wherever somebody's fighting for a place to stand, for a decent job or a helping hand, wherever somebody's struggling to be free, look in their eyes, Mom, you'll see me. Yeah. Well, the highway is alive tonight. No, nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, with the ghost of Tom Joad. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but it's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, with the ghost of old Tom Joad, with the ghost of old Tom Joad.